It's official, folks, and no longer testy Doug Peterson has named the Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles the starter for Week 1. Carson Wentz hasn't been medically cleared for contact just yet. Victor, good to have you with us. I'll say that to you again on camera. Stephen A., I'll start with you. How long can the Eagles go without Wentz?
At least the first month. And I'm interested in hearing what Victor Cruz has to say about this because, the Eagles, I don't know if it's them, it's their fans. Somebody's annoying me. I can't figure out who, but somebody's getting on my nerves.
Usually that's me.
Well, it's because I just get tired of beating you up and I just want a fair fight. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is this. With the Philadelphia Eagles, I am looking at Carson Wentz. I'm sorry, did I see him in the playoffs? No, I didn't see him play. Did I see him in the Super Bowl? No, I didn't see him in the Super Bowl. Did the Eagles win the Super Bowl? Yes, they did. Who did they win it with? The backup quarterback who ended up being the MVP, who, by the way, completed better than 70% of his passes. This is what they did. Last time I checked, Corey Clement and Jay Ajayi, they're still in the backfield. Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, they're still at the wideout spot. Zach Ertz is still at the tight end spot.
For a while,
Excuse me. Yeah, they ain't gonna have Alshon. That's a good point. I guess, and Max
Nick ain't look so hot this preseason.
Listen, and Max made this big deal about the offensive line. Well, the offensive line is back intact. Victor, what's the problem? Why is everybody so worried about life without Carson Wentz?
Because they haven't looked good, and Nick Foles hasn't looked good, and this offense hasn't looked good. You can't go an entire preseason. I get it, it's preseason. Whatever you want to make of the preseason, you make of it. But you gotta at least put up some points. As an offense, you want to go out there and put a drive together. They haven't done that. They haven't done that as a unit.
You got to play run. You got to put him in an offense he can do. You got to RPO Nick Foles equals a degree of success you can live with.
Don't be sitting there having some discussion with him and letting him off the hook. Did you hear what he just said? You just said the preseason, you got to do X, Y, Z. I'm sorry, I thought the preseason was about making sure you're healthy for the regular season.
I agree, but when it's time that third preseason game, when it's time to put something together and show what your team has and put a good drive together and put something together, they haven't done so. I remember with the Giants, we went scoreless one preseason, and we were all worried. And you guys were sitting up here talking about how worried you guys were.
I wasn't worried about no preseason.
And
don't put that on me.
But in the regular season, we came to play and did what we had to do.
Thank you.
How many
Philly
weeks can they go?
I don't know if they can do that with this team that they got right now.
How many weeks can they go of it?
Without Carson Wentz?
Yes.
I think they can go. I mean, not that they want to go this long, but I think they can go a month. Whether they go 2-2, 4-0.
Why do you think that you can't do it with this team when it was sort of this exact team that went to the Super Bowl?
Because this isn't a year ago. This is a brand new team. This is a brand new regime. This is a brand new energy for this team, and that energy hasn't been good for Nick Foles specifically as the quarterback.
But you just finished saying that after y'all didn't handle your business in the preseason, you went out there and did what you needed to do in the regular season.
But that was with our starting quarterback and Eli Manning. Nick Foles ain't Eli.
Well, Nick, excuse me, you're right. He's not Eli. He's the reigning defending Super Bowl champion right now.
Look, there's an answer.
You're rolling with that disrespect. You're in New York.
There's an answer to this question, since neither of you really want to answer the question. The answer is till Week 5. You can get away with no.
What will the record be Week 5, though, Max?
It'll be 3-1 or 2-2. Okay. In the first 4 weeks, because but I'm being specific.
Okay.
Falcons, Bucks, Colts, Titans.
Okay.
That's not exactly a murderer's row in the NFL.
Yeah, the Bucks don't even have their starting quarterback.
All right, so those 4 games, if you can go it's going to take at least 10 games to win the division, maybe 11. So if you go anywhere 2-2, 3-1, if you're a little lucky with Nick Foles, and if you're running the offense he can run, you should be able to. We saw it at the end of the season and through the playoffs. Then you got to go anywhere between 7-5 and 9-3 with Carson Wentz, where, by week 13, they were like the best team in football, and he was the MVP. Mm-hmm. You can do that. They have 4 weeks with Nick Foles. And Molly, can you pat me on the back, please?
Yeah.
Oh, it feels good sometimes to get some credit. Remember when I said don't trade Nick Foles? Oh, I don't know. Maybe for a situation like this.
Listen, I still disagree with Max about that. I said you explore it if there were an opportunity to get a first-round pick. Like, for example, I'm not saying that.
Max, you were right.
You think Nick is worth a first-round pick?
I don't care that you agree with that. I disagree with you. Let me be very clear.
You were right. You were right.
Rub the shoulders as well. So he's at back issues. He can use that. But here's the point that I'm trying to make to you. You're looking at them, and I'm saying to myself, excuse me. If you just got 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack, and I'm not comparing it to, I'm just throwing it out there. If you got 2 first-round picks for Khalil Mack, You couldn't find a sucker that might have given you up a first-round pick for a Super Bowl MVP quarterback?
I feel like they did shop him. Did they not?
I'm just saying,
I'm
for the purposes of me and him disagreeing.
Okay.
His whole thing was, no, you hold on to Nick Foles. And I'm going like this. No, you can let him go.
There's a price for Aaron Rodgers or anyone. There's
because
always
everybody you got around him.
Yeah, then they'd be in panic
Listen,
mode.
if Philly ends up the first month of the season at 500, that's a win for them. In my opinion, with Nick Foles specifically.
I think
that's a win for them.
I think the Eagles going to be 3-1 going into October.
Okay.
What's the matter with y'all?
I can't wait to come back and see you in
I thought football
October.
was a team game. You've got your
I gotta write that down.
Everybody else is there.
All right, Eagles
Not everybody.
3-1 going into October. That's Stephen A.
As long as
Victor
they're no
Cruz
worse than 2-2.
wants them to be
Big piece.
500.
They got Mike Wallace in
Max is
offseason.
2-2.
As long as
Very
the
true.
Eagles are no worse than 2-2,
Okay.
and they get Carson Wentz back week 5, they're going to
I'll
win the
be
division.
holding you
Good
all
shot.
accountable.